look like I'm, good color.
It does kind of work, doesn't it?
Right, with your red and
yeah.
navy. Is this navy or royal?
That looks navy.
So it's the same as Pat's blue, right?
What do you think? Oh, you're there. Oh, hey, America.
Well, howdy there, folks.
How we doing? Welcome back to the Sack. Hey, this is going to be our Facebook debut tonight after a long, long time. We finally, our legions of fans, we finally given into their requests, so we're going live on Facebook tonight. So
yeah, they've just been clamoring.
Yeah, clamoring. Oh my God, the fan mail. I can't even get to all of it.
The vigor.
The vigor. Yes, the vigor.
The absolute.
Yeah. So
I can't think.
In any event, welcome to IDD for those of you who know I don't disagree. Sports talk. We are live in the mid-sack. It's a fall. It feels like fall today. I would say it feels like fall.
Autumn.
Today, autumn. Okay.
Autumn,
Even though it's
definitely
officially
autumn.
fall, but it's autumn.
It's very autumnal.
Yeah, and the rain did cool shit off.
Yeah, but I hate that misty rain where it's
weird.
just wet.
Yeah.
The temperature's great, though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's not cold, but it's cool.
Almost crisp.
Yeah,
not quite
crisp. Not quite crisp yet. Not yet. That's next month, which is not too far off, by the way. But anyway, that is the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo. I am the highly questionable one, Arjun Miliaccio. Segment 1, NFL Week 3 recap. Wow. Some shit went down this week in America. Let me tell you. I mean, people were taking receipts. People were getting U.S. mail stamped on their ass. There's one team that probably still can't sit down from the bum blasting they got. Oh, my God.
Who had the biggest receipt?
Denver.
Yeah, no doubt.
The coach. Yeah, Sean
Payton.
Payton.
Serves you right. You
Sean
criticize
Payton.
Nathaniel Hackett.
It is one thing to get a slice of humble pie. It is another thing to get the whole thing shoved in your face, which is exactly what happened on Sunday. I mean, I guess we're going to start with that because oh my God, 1966.
That's the last time.
The last time this happened.
The last time somebody scored 70?
Scored 70. 1966.
I love it.
That's 7 years before I was born.
I love it. Yeah, 7 years before you were born.
Yeah, I'm 50.
What?
57 years ago.
It was 17.
Over half a century,
Before
America.
me.
I mean, before you, yes, you were 82.
16.
16 years before you were born.
Yeah, but the
wow.
fact that Sean Payton said Nathaniel Hackett, achieved probably the worst coaching job in NFL history, and then goes out there.
They won 4 games.
And
just so you know.
Who did?
Denver did.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are teams that went 0-17. Yeah, how the fuck can you 0-16? But still, 0-16 is still awful.
Well, the Lions did it.
The Lions did it. So that's got to be among the worst coaching jobs ever.
With some pretty good players.
They did, but 0-16 is the word. If you do that, you're right there. This guy was not.
Now he blows a game to Washington.
Yeah, they should have won that game.
Losing.
They were up 21-3.
Yeah, no business losing. Mm-hmm. And then he gets a 70 burger. When have you ever heard somebody say 70 burger?
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that.
And it really is poetic justice, and it's a lesson. Don't be a prick if you don't have to be a prick. There's no need to be a prick.
We talked about this before, and everybody's talked about it, about professionalism. You can, like I said, you can think it, but you don't say it. And if you do utter it, it stays in-house. That never gets to the press. It never, ever gets to the press because it's going to get back to them. And then you put the microscope on you. So now you're under pressure to perform, and right now, Denver,
they're not looking good.
I mean, if it wasn't for Chicago, they might be the worst team in the league right now. I mean,
but they've actually had a lead, so we can't say that.
This is true.
Right.
They
actually could have won.
They should have won a game. I mean,
Bears are 0-3, right?
They're awful.
0-3.
But yeah, they're awful.
Have they won? Have they lost 12 games in a row?
They haven't won a game since last October. It's going to be October in 4 days.
I feel bad for Bears fans.
It'll almost be a calendar year. And the thing about that is, we'll get back to Peyton in a minute.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject.
No, it's all right. But the thing about that is, and we're going to get into this in depth a little later in the segment, about how coaches and killing quarterbacks, because Chicago might be Exhibit A on this. They're not setting this kid up to succeed. We'll get in depth on that, but that's been talked about by a lot of analysts going, look, he's not playing well. Okay, fine. But they're not helping him. They being the coach, that they are not helping him. And there's another certain quarterback in New York who a certain Hall of Famer is trashing. And he's not wrong with what he's saying, but he's forgetting one thing. The coaches aren't helping him either. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's go back to
about Joe Namath?
No, what Joe Namath said. Now, I don't disagree with what he said, but he left out one very important element, and that is the coaches aren't helping this kid. They're not doing what setting him up or utilizing what he does well. And coming up with a game plan that fits to his strengths. We hear about this all the time.
Actually doing real coaching.
Real coaching. The offense they put in was built for Aaron Rodgers. This kid ain't Aaron Rodgers. This kid isn't Aaron Rodgers. He's not his jockstrap. Okay, he's not. Okay, so you have to change.
Aaron
the
Rodgers
offense.
is his idol. You could see it
Yeah.
in Hard Knocks. He followed him around like a puppy,
Like a
dog.
lost puppy dog.
I mean,
Trying to learn from
it.
him.
It was good. He was
He's trying to learn. He's genuinely trying to learn from him.
Right.
He realized he fucked up last year. He's trying to do the right
Yeah.
thing, and he got thrown into
Well-
a situation that he wasn't ready for.
Exactly. He had
So-
no clue 4 plays in.
No
He
one.
would
And by the way,
be
no
running
one
this
did.
team.
No one did. But the thing is, and we talked about this before. Look, I understand you went all in on Aaron Rodgers because you knew this guy wasn't the guy. But what if Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. He's one hit. We're all one hit away, America. We're all one hit away.
And the older you are, the closer you are.
Yeah, it's almost less than one hit. So I mean, why they weren't
any
grooming?
hit.
They weren't getting that kid ready in the event of disaster, or bringing in another quarterback if you didn't like
But
him.
here's the thing. It's beyond them not trying to get him ready. They don't understand how to utilize.
They don't know how to
him.
do it, and we're going to talk about that. But back
At
to
least
Denver
that's what
here.
it seems like.
But back to Denver here.
Sorry, we just hit 3 topics, and
yeah,
probably
this-
nobody knows what we're talking.
By the way, for you Facebook followers, the first time, this is an uncensored show. It's an adult show. If you haven't figured out the voodoo master behind me, Joe Boo, Major League, let's just say that our in between takes, we've got a little event going on. Anyway, the bottom line is, and that could certainly affect some of our speech, certainly some of our memory, and yes, grossly our sense of humor.
Motor functions?
Yeah, that too, possibly. Thank God we don't have to do anything quickly.
No, we're not operating heavy machinery.
No, thank God.
Our brains are very light.
Yes, they are.
There's a lot going
I mean, they're light before this, but with this, it's even worse. So anyway,
So let me say something about Sean Payton.
yes, please.
So, beyond just the fact like you don't need to be a prick, Aaron Rodgers called something out when he defended Nathaniel Hackett, and he said the fact that somebody who's accomplished that much is so insecure, he's got to say that as like a way out. So if they stink this year, he's got a way out. So he went into that job, he took all that money, and in the back of his mind, he didn't think he could turn it around. And
Well, he
that's
didn't
what-
think Russell Wilson was the guy.
Right.
from
And
the
he
jump.
and so he almost went in it knowing, well, it's not my fault if we suck this year. That's what it seems like now. The way he made that comment. And maybe it's not his fault that they suck this year.
Well,
but,
he didn't put the team together.
but if you're
Right.
going to talk shit on another coach, realize Nathaniel Hackett didn't put that team together either.
No, he did not.
Right?
No, he didn't. But they were. But again, Nathaniel Hackett was brought in because Denver thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. So Denver fucked that up
Yeah.
too. I mean, look. I'm not saying Hackett did a good job. He did not. But the bottom line is that's not for me. That's not for anybody to say, especially in the coaching ranks. That's coaching etiquette 101. You never badmouth another peer in your profession. You never do it. Never, ever, ever. Because of what.
Not just out of nowhere like that. Like if somebody's talking shit and you want to talk back, fine.
You don't look. It's okay to be frustrated with the hand you got dealt, but again, he picked it. He should have waited until
Exactly,
the
he
Chargers
picked
came to their senses and fired that idiot. And we'll get into him in a minute because he dodged another bullet this weekend. That fuck up.
Well,
Staley.
luckily they were playing Minnesota for them.
Kirk Cousins never fails. Kirk. But anyway, no. Peyton
Did Kirk fuck that game up?
threw a
Come on, Kirk. Kirko.
Mr. Mediocre, Mr. Stat Sheet Stuffer.
Hey, if the Jets had him,
Oh,
They'd be a
he'd be
playoff team.
Yeah,
Easy.
they've got a defense. Minnesota has never had a defense. The Jets do. But anyway, this is the thing. So I mean, with Peyton, he has been around long enough to know that he shouldn't have said that. And then when he tried to backpedal, he even fucked that up, saying, "Well, I was an analyst for like that. I put my analyst cap on. I shouldn't have done
he said
that."
I had a few too many cups of coffee.
Whatever he said, he was wrong. He should have just said, "Look, that was out of line. I shouldn't have said that. This is coaching is tough." And
Exactly.
there's a lot of things that factor into coaching that a coach actually has no control over, especially if the coach doesn't build the team. You got to do the best you can with what you have, and it may not be conducive to what you want, what style you want to play, which is hard because then you got to totally do a 180 mentally and design a game plan around the talent that you do have. Yeah. And listen, that's not easy to do. Okay, that is not easy to do. There's a reason why a lot of coaches get fired in that league because that is hard to do. Okay, the GM and the head coach must be on the same page. Because if they are not, it's usually the coach, then the GM, or depending on who's been there longer. One of them is going to lose their job over it if they don't work together and come up with something that they can work with, that the coach, a vision that the coach has. Which clearly,
a lot of the time they're connected. So if one goes, they both go. Mm-hmm.
But we used to, and this went back to the Patriot days. Bill Parcells and later Pete Carroll had it with Bobby Greer, the GM. They were always at odds. They were always at odds. And
we had odds till we even.
Mm-hmm. And again, the thing is, Parcells was a great coach, so he figured it out because he's a great coach. He adapted to what he had, but he didn't like everything that he had.
Yeah.
But they still got to a Super Bowl with it because he can coach. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Sean Payton right now doesn't look like he can adjust.
Yikes.
He doesn't. I mean, 70. Look it. And
here's Miami was doing crazy shit.
Here's the other problem. Miami scored 21 points in the fourth quarter with their bench. They took everybody out.
I don't think they were trying.
They weren't because they took out Tua in the third quarter. They took all the starters out. The fact they got 21 more, that team quit. That fucking team quit on their coach. And by the way, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't fucking blame them for that because they weren't prepared.
No, I blame them for that.
Well, they shouldn't have quit because you're supposed to be a professional and not quit. But if this asshole's saying the things that he's saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if he's a dick, and
by all accounts he is.
But I mean, we don't know if he's building relationships with these people.
We don't know.
We don't know how that's going.
No.
But if he's not doing that right, and he doesn't have a good culture there, then that's usually why people quit.
I mean, Denver's defense last year was ranked in the top 10. They've had a top 10 defense for a while now. They look totally unprepared. I mean, and honestly, Miami was running basic shit, but they were dressing it up, as Dan Orlovsky likes. They were dressing it up. They were using motions. And the thing about speed, anytime you send a guy with 4-3 speed in motion, half the defense is going to go with him because they think he's going to get the ball. Okay, and in the case of the cheetah, he would get the ball. Okay, so Miami does I'll tell you, kudos to this coach who I've shit on, but he knows how to drop an offense.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, he knows how to drop an offense because he uses what he has to his advantage. And when he can do all these.
He didn't
motions
even have Waddle yesterday. Or Sunday.
No, but they've got
Waddle.
With Waddle out of the lineup, they have 4 guys that run 4-3 or the cheetah who runs 4-2. And that's without Waddle, who also runs 4-3. They got 5 skill position players that run 4-3, or in the case of the cheetah, 4-2. When you have that kind of speed on the outside, yeah, you're going to cause problems. And what you have to be is disciplined, meaning you stay in your lane. You don't fall for this stuff because if you go with it, the overflow is going to come back and you're going to be out of spot. Well, which Denver was all game.
They had Surtain shadowing him.
Yeah.
But he couldn't guard him.
There's nobody one-on-one in this league that can guard him, and it is the fool. And 2 teams have tried this so far, and they've got embarrassed. The Chargers.
Was Denver manning? Were they doing man cover?
Yeah.
Single?
They had him manned up on him.
Just Surtain the whole time. So people weren't
on that
over
side of the field. They had to say, well, this is the thing. I don't know what their secondary was doing because first of all, with them you got to be playing 2 deep minimum. You got to have both safeties back. Minimum, because you don't know. They'll run him all the way across the field, up from one zone into the other. Because the safety takes half the field, the back end. So you got to have them both back there. You can't play cover 1 with a guy like that.
But if you're like 15 yards off of him and he has the ball, you're not tackling him.
I don't understand.
Did you see the angle one of those safeties took to
on the very first pass play? He had a 54-yard touchdown.
Is that where the guy took the bad angle to the sideline and he just
the very first pass attempt to him was a 54-yard touchdown. Now, here's how good the Patriots are. He had 50 yards in the whole game. And the Patriots were missing their number 1 corner, and they never played him man-to-man.
Who, Gonzalez?
Yeah, no, he's the other guy, Jackson. Gonzalez is the number 1 now, but Jackson, he's the rookie. But he's looking like a number 1 because he's playing awesome.
Dude, but why do they suck on offense?
Because they don't have a number 1 receiver yet. And their offensive line although the offensive line is getting healthy. They ran for $158 on one of the best defenses in football, and they knew it was coming, and they couldn't stop it.
And I was like, "Come on, yo, you got to put up more than 15." I know the Jets' defense is good,
it's elite,
but as bad as their offense is, you got to be able to.
The only reason Dallas put up 30 is because this dickhead threw 3 picks. He didn't have a turnover.
Well, they didn't really let him throw, did they?
The Patriots?
No. The Jets really didn't let Zach Wilson
against
throw,
the Cowboys, and again in the third quarter now it was 18-10. Guess how many rushing attempts they had for the entire game against Dallas?
You said 9 or 10, right?
They ran 16 times.
16
in the entire game out of 46 plays. By the way, Dallas's offense in that game, 83 offensive plays. They were gassed. Mm-hmm. The defense was also gassed, and he had 3 interceptions on top of it, one of which got returned for a touchdown. So, I mean, against the Patriots, you can badmouth Wilson if you want. He didn't have a turnover. And because he didn't have a turnover, they stayed in that game. The Jets' defense is elite. The Pats don't have a number 1 receiver, and they haven't identified one, or they're not doing it.
What happened with Demario Douglas?
He did play.
Did he do anything?
He had 1 catch for 15. He had 1 rush for 8.
Oh,
They didn't use him enough. No, they didn't. This is the problem. Like, I don't know.
Did Hunter Henry have a long touchdown?
No, it was the other.
It was the other guy? What's his name?
We never heard of him.
What's his name?
Pharaoh Brown.
Oh, Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, fuck. That's what I said. Who the fuck is Pharaoh Brown? And
I like that.
Yeah, Pharaoh Brown, who torched the secondary because they didn't know who he was either.
It was a really good rapper, Pharaoh Munch.
Yeah, but they ran for $158 on them, which is 24 more yards than Dallas did. Okay, they're still missing 2 starters in the offensive line. So the Pats got back to their running ways, which is fine because that's how they're going to win. Run defense, and then Mac Jones. Again, he still doesn't have a number 1 receiver, but he's thrown 5 touchdowns and only 2 picks, and he's completing 65% of his passes. And right now, he's 9th in the league in passing yards. 9. And that's with no number 1. You should look at the list. While burping. You should look at the list of that top 10 list. Mahomes, Herbert, all the usual suspects, Tua, and there's Mac Jones in there as well.
I've got him on my bench, and he gave me 10 fantasy points.
Yeah, because they didn't throw.
And
they ran the ball. I mean, he had 200 yards passing, but they had $158
rushing. Are they
going
to be able to beat Buffalo and Miami?
They should have beat Miami.
Really?
Take away that 1 turnover. That was a 14-point swing. That was
I know,
the game.
but you can't.
Yes, you can. Don't fumble the ball.
What about the pick?
The pick wasn't his fault either. The guy ran the wrong route.
It's not about whose fault it was. These are mistakes that the Pats are making.
The mistake was made by Bill Belichick for benching that kid the rest of the game.
I understand, but he's still the coach.
And it's why I get on him, because that was a mistake.
But
it cost them the game.
The way this team is constructed.
You're asking me a question. Can they beat Miami? If Bill doesn't fuck it up and they don't turn the ball over, yes, they can beat Miami.
But I'm asking you, all this stuff has to happen for them to win. Is all that going to happen?
You tell me who's going to be healthy in December, and I'll tell you who's going to win the Super Bowl. Because I don't know and nobody knows. Did anybody here know that Aaron Rodgers is going to go down on the 4th play of the season?
I'm not asking you to predict with certainty. I'm asking your opinion.
The Patriots can definitely beat them. Yes, absolutely they can beat them. They're not afraid of them, number 1. They didn't have their number 1 corner, and they held those 2 in check. Without their number 1 cornerback. And they were missing 3 starters on the offensive line.
Watching that game, it just didn't feel like they could do anything.
Because they took their best weapon off the field. For 3, he didn't play.
But if your best weapon is a 6th-round slot receiver, how good is your offense going to be?
Once upon a time, it was a 7th-round college quarterback.
That's true.
Once upon a time, it was a 6th-round draft pick, 199. It's not like the Pats haven't done this before.
I know. But it's a long shot.
Troy Brown was the last pick in their draft.
That's a long shot.
That's 4 guys in one organization.
Okay, so you're still telling me that a 6th-round pick being your centerpiece offense.
It doesn't matter where.
It's not a long shot.
Do you know where Travis Kelce got drafted?
No.
He was the 5th tight end taken.
What round?
In his draft. He was like in the 3rd or 4th round.
Okay, that's.
And he's the best tight end of this era, both sides of Gronkowski. Okay? And he was a 5th-round draft. So it doesn't matter when you find them, as long as you find them. Because that happens all the time.
Does it?
N'Keal Harry. 1st-round pick. Yeah, it happens all the fucking time.
Well, no, that's the opposite of what I'm talking about.
I'm saying you don't know when you're going to find that player. Obviously, if it's a 1st-round pick, and we're going to get to the Giants in a minute, because this is the thing the Giants got to do. But the point is
I'm just saying, if the Patriots are not more than a 6th-round slot receiver on offense,
the Patriots,
how are they going to compete with Buffalo and Miami?
One, because their defenses are better than both of them.
Defense, I completely agree.
Is better than both of them, and they can run the football. They can run the football. They ran for $158 on one of the best defenses in the league.
Is that the first game they've run the football well?
Yeah, because
the first couple they didn't.
Their line wasn't healthy. They were missing 2 starters against Philly, and Philly's front 4 is top 3 in the league. They are. They're right there.
Patriots hasn't even hit their stride.
No, they haven't. But their front 4 is intact, and against the run, they're stout. Yeah. So San Fran, Dallas, New England, those are the top 4 front 4s. Buffalo is number 5, by the way. So I mean, the thing is, Miami has seen one defense. Real defense. The
Browns' front 4 is pretty.
They're ranked number 1 in the league right now.
They're fucking nasty.
The Browns' defense right now is ranked number 1 in the league.
It's good.
Okay, and the other 4: San Fran, Dallas, New England, and Buffalo. That's your top 5 defenses right now in the NFL, statistically speaking. And by the way, only one of those teams has a losing record. It's the Patriots, who played Philly and Miami, and lost by a total of 12 points, and had 4 turnovers in those 2 games.
Okay, you're making good points.
I'm
here.
just saying
I just wanted to challenge you a little bit. You're making good points.
No, but here's the thing, and anybody who's a Pats fan will know this. And by the way, the Giants have done this on a couple of occasions. Teams don't peak in September. What you're looking for with the Patriots and the Giants is an ascension. November, you want to start playing. After Thanksgiving, as you used to say. What are you doing after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
The Patriots have to be on an incline from that. Okay, and if they're progressing, then come November, December, they're going to have a shot. Because the AFC is going to beat each other up. The AFC East and the AFC East are playing each other. There's going to be a lot of teams with 5, 6, 7 losses in there. There's going to be a lot of teams like that. Okay?
Well, dude, as I look at the rest of the when I think about the rest of the Giants' schedule, it's starting.
It's murderous.
It's hard to see them winning more than 7 games right now.
You look at their peers; they've all got a schedule like that.
I get that, but does that mean that somebody's going to be a wild card at like?
I'm saying there's going to be a lot of teams with 6, 7, and 8.
Is 9 and 8? Is
9 and 8 going to get
you
in both conferences? There's going to be a 9 and 8 team, I think, in both conferences.
I just think it's going to be tough for the Giants to go 9 and 8.
These teams are going to knock each other off.
Giants might go 8 and 9.
Well,
if they have a good
Here's
year.
what the Giants got to do, because the Giants are doing the same shit that everybody else is doing in terms of, well, at least with Danny Dimes, they let him run. They designed plays for him. But,
not against San Fran.
No, they didn't. But again, they didn't use what they had. They didn't set. They're not doing stuff to get Waller. The stuff they're doing with Waller is vanilla, to say the least. And this
everything's vanilla.
And this thing, there's no creativity. You got a Biletnikoff winner. They got no package for him. How is that fucking possible? Okay. And by the way, I'm not the first one that said this. Orlovsky has said it too. He goes, the Giants have weapons now, and it looks like they have no idea how to deploy them.
Yeah, and I don't get that.
Now, I don't get it either. But look at this. We're seeing this in Chicago. We're seeing this with the New York Jets. They don't have a. And this goes back to, believe it or not, 2001. My father and I were watching this because the Pats had won their first Super Bowl. And they, when they won the Super Bowl, we were talking off the air about this, how they do a year video recap of that team, and they give it a name, and then you get the DVR, and everybody gathers around and watches the recap of the season. So the Patriots. In week 2 of the preseason now, Bledsoe was the starter before he got hurt, and him and Brady are on the sidelines in week 2 of the preseason, and they're going. And Bledsoe's got a what do you call it? A clipboard, and he's going, all right, Tommy, give me your favorites. And then
Tommy, come on,
and
Tommy.
he's going, all right, I like sticks, I like seam, I like this, I don't like that. I don't like that. I like this. And then he rattled off about 8 or 9 plays in this clip, and I'm going, what is he doing? And my father, who was watching this with me, goes, every quarterback has go-to plays that they like, that they're going to get them. And I forgot about him saying that until today, when they said this about Zach Wilson, and they said it about Justin Fields in Chicago. Okay, every quarterback has a set of go-to plays that's going to get him completions, get him in rhythm, get him some yardage. It looks like these 2 coaching staffs have no fucking idea what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, and I would argue the Giants, similar. They know how to do a run-pass option with him, but they don't. I wonder if he's got 10 go-to plays, pass plays. Danny, does he have 10 go-to plays that are guaranteed to get a completion? And that's what he called them. He called them. Orlovsky had a name for him, but it was like he called them like rhythm starters. He's like, when I was playing in Detroit with Stafford had like 10 go-to pass plays.
I wonder if Orlovsky had 10 go-to plays.
Well, one of them was clearly running out of the end.
Minshew stepped out of bounds this weekend.
He did. And the problem is that he didn't run all the way across and make a buffoon like.
No, his was not.
It was an honest mistake. He just
and then he brought his team back to win.
Yes, and he won, unlike Dano.
On the road in Baltimore, hostile environment.
Dano ran across the back like he was stepping on hot lumps of coal, and he was barefoot. That's what it looked like with a
He was running on glass.
Yeah, like he was running on glass.
Of glass.
It was terrible.
But with the Giants, it has been like that with them. I'm trying to think the last time they had a creative offense.
This is the question. I mean, look, and this is why the coach down in Miami is getting a lot of credit, because he designed an offense around what Tua does well.
Yeah.
Okay. He loves.
Let's not. I know, but he's got some of the best playmakers in the whole fucking.
And you know why? Because the GM and the coach are in sync, and he goes, "We need these guys to help this kid."
Well, but regardless, okay, he's got good weapons. To his credit, he uses them.
He's probably got the best receiving tandem in the NFL.
The Giants' offense has got to be the most boring shit I've ever seen in my life, and it's been like that. Like when Jason Garrett was there. Oh my God.
I would argue
that was the worst. Last year, sometimes it was better. Sometimes they'd hit you with a double reverse where Bellinger.
There was some creativity there. There was every now and then. There's none of that yet.
No.
No.
And what are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Like, and I've noticed it. Okay, so last night, Jamar Chase blows up on catches. First 2 weeks, he was non-existent.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
they had a package for him, a set of plays just to get him the ball.
What are you waiting till week 3 to do this? That's your best player.
I think they looked at his numbers because he's the number one option in the whole
Right.
offense. But
the first 2 weeks, they're like, we don't need to throw to Chase.
Well, first of all, the opponent was double teaming him, so they went other ways because they have Higgins and Boyd.
They weren't double teaming him last night.
They moved him around last night. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you do that?
They put in a set of plays to make sure he got the ball, and this is what I'm talking about.
How is it week 3 till you make that adjustment?
Do you remember last year when I was complaining about Devontae Adams? And there were games where he disappeared. I'm going,
Right.
Josh, how do you not have a set
Same
of
thing happened
plays?
with him,
yeah, this is what happened last night, and it's a fair question. But what again? To be fair, Jamar Chase is the number one on the other team's defense. Stop him. So every defense is geared towards stopping him. That's the first thing.
I know,
they're
but
not going to let him
last
run
night-
free.
but
I mean,
last night-
we can't all play the Denver Broncos every Sunday. We're
No,
going to
but
let your number one just run free.
Last night he played against a good defense.
He did.
And they were creative and moved him around so that it was hard for them to
Did you count
focus.
how many different positions he was in?
No.
He lined up in literally every possible spot on either side of the line and in the backfield. And by the way, he probably went in motion 75% of the time.
Okay,
he never ended up in the place he started.
So this is great. My only point is, why week 3? You've had this guy for
Why aren't
2
the
years.
Giants doing this with your Blitnikoff winner?
Exactly.
A guy like
And Darren Waller.
how fast is that kid?
He's a 4.3, I think.
Bingo, right there, stop. 4-3. You got a 4-3 burner. You have a set of plays to get him the ball in space.
Dude, but also,
and they don't
you
have
also have a game-changing tight end.
I know.
Who's 6 whatever the fuck, and he's just as fast as any of the receivers.
The New York Giants are not devoid of weapons this year. Because honestly, I would argue they have legit 4 guys. They've got the kid, the tight end Waller, the other tight end Bellinger is good, and Slayton. They got 4 legit guys in the passing game. Now to go with Barkley, Slayton's a good player. He reminds me a lot of Jacoby Myers. By the way, look at his numbers right now.
Well, he looks good.
Yeah.
I don't think Slayton's as good.
I think but Slayton's good. Slayton had almost 800 yards last year.
Slayton's solid.
He's solid, and last year those 3 guys weren't running around last year with him. He was by himself out there.
No, you're right.
He's got help now. But the thing is, the Giants, and this is what I don't understand about your boy, because last year he got creative at times.
It was never a full game of creativity.
Well, I think there was only so much he could do because of the personnel. But now he's got better personnel.
Right.
So it stands to reason he can be more creative.
40-0 to Dallas. For the first half against Arizona, you don't score any points.
Yep.
And now
all of a
against
sudden,
the Niners, it's field goal, field goal, field goal.
Well, again, they lost Saquon, which hurt them.
They did score a touchdown.
They did score a touchdown. It was 17-12 in the third quarter. But they were in that game.
They were, but it was vanilla offense, almost like they were scared. And I understand because the O-line is not healthy, so you are a little scared of that D-line hurting Danny.
But this is where you put him in the shotgun and you get that 4-3 burner who won the blue in motion, and you get him in space and you get the ball out in 2 seconds, and he gets 5-6 yard chunks, and that's like a running game. The Patriots were famous for this shit. Right. Okay, that's how you stop an elite front four is you get the ball before they can get to you. And when you got a guy who can get separation, like I think this kid can, that's where the question is, why are you not designing shit to get him in space?
And you don't throw sideways against the fastest fucking defense in the NFL.
No. But what you do is you get him on the wide side of the field, you get him matched up in the
wide side.
The wide side of the field.
Get him on the wide side.
Well, the common sense there is there's more room to run, and then you've got a cornerback trailing trying to catch him. So he's already got a head start on him. That's the whole point.
What play did they call to the short side? And we were laughing.
I was laughing.
Well, no, the worst was
it was a bubble screen to the short side of the field.
Bubble side of short
what
screen.
What the fuck are you doing?
And that was after they allowed fucking Bosa to run untouched.
Somebody must have missed an assignment. There's no way that was the call.
It was terrible.
Some lineman had to have blown that assignment. There's no way Joey Bosa comes. Somebody missed an assignment there. Because I don't believe for a second that the coaching staff went, you know what we're going to do here? We're going to do the flow to the left, and we're going to leave Bosa naked in the hopes that he's going to over-pursue. And we're not going to hit him.
Fake handoff.
Yeah.
Loop around right into Bosa's arms.
You know, Danny Dimes will get around him.
Let's go through our picks for last week.
Yes, we do picks every week. He's kicking he's up by 3 going this week. I think he got me again this week.
Did I?
I think you did.
I don't know. I feel like we're probably similar. Okay, so
you were 3 ahead.
So week 3, where you at, baby? Week 3. Okay, here we go.
So going in, just so you know, America, he was 19-11. I was 16-14 going into week 3.
We both picked the Niners, obviously.
Yep.
We both picked Cleveland.
Yep.
Who did they play again?
They played Tennessee.
Oh, they stomped
27-3.
Stomped them.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill needs to go. Ryan Tannehill needs to retire.
But Cleveland's defense is legit.
Dude, DeAndre Hopkins isn't really. They're not doing enough with him.
Well, of course not, because it's Tannehill.
Yeah.
Then we both picked Detroit.
Who responded?
Who did they play again? God, I can't remember.
Who did Detroit play?
I can't remember.
I can't remember who it was.
Okay. So they won?
They won.
Okay.
Wait, it's right here in front of me, Donnie. Atlanta. They beat Atlanta.
Okay.
They beat them 20-6. I tell you, their defense.
Well, they held their run game in check.
They shut them down. It was the first time somebody stopped Atlanta's running game. So that was a good win for them.
So then we both picked Miami, which, we were kind of right.
We were laughing about that one. We were kind of right.
We both,
it was touch and go there for a minute.
Yeah, we weren't sure if we were going to get there.
Like right up to kickoff, I was nervous.
We both picked Minnesota, unfortunately. Because we thought
they should have lost that game, and we thought the coach would do it, and he did it. And of course, Kirk Cousins.
What did he do to fuck up?
He went for it on 4th and 1 on his 20-yard line,
and didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
What was the play call?
They haven't. By the way, they weren't running the whole game.
What was the play call?
Right in the fucking middle of the. It was like you're gonna do that. You don't even get creative.
That's Belichickian.
Yes, it was.
That's Belichickian. That's like,
and then
the odds are in our favor.
I'm like, the analytics. Whereas if he kicks it, they got to go 80 yards, and they still have to get a touchdown.
And so
Minnesota, he is so lucky.
Did Minnesota score and then they came back and scored, or did Minnesota not score?
Minnesota threw a pick in the end zone.
Oh no!
It was deflected.
Kirko.
He threw it into tight coverage, and of course it got batted up.
Yeah.
You don't throw. Look, have we not learned anything from Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl? You don't throw into tight coverage on the goal line. You throw out. You don't throw over the middle because all it takes is one.
You're gonna miss out of balance.
All it takes is one paw. One paw to knock that thing up in the air, and you got 11 maniacs in a small space that can get that ball.
All right.
So
I found this on the web.
Shut up. No, you didn't.
We both picked the Pats, who won.
Yep.
Apparently, did Randall Cobb drop a Hail Mary that would have won the game?
No, they got batted down. It went off of his
After
arm.
the game, he was telling everybody in the locker, or he said, I told the team that, I lost that game because I dropped a Hail Mary.
He didn't drop it. It hit off the outside of his hand. He didn't even know he was going to get it. The ball wasn't even near him.
He's just trying to take the high road.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
And trying to pump his team
He
up.
didn't cost them the game.
You picked Washington.
Yep.
Which, my God, they got straight up.
Hey, that kid hadn't thrown a pick all season.
And
he threw 3 in one game.
Yikes.
So
I told you that home field advantage isn't much.
He hadn't thrown a pick all season. He was completing almost 70. I didn't know he was going to shit the
bed
bed like that.
That home field advantage because you were like, and it's in Washington. I was like, nobody gives a fuck about
Buffalo lost to the fucking Jets with goddamn Wilson as the quarterback.
But that's one of those. I agree with you, and I was thinking that in my head too.
That's why I did. And by the way, the offense looked good.
But I think
for Washington,
there's something about the Bills and the Jets that the Jets have their number somehow. Because it's unexplainable.
The Commanders' offense has looked very good.
Well, didn't over the weekend.
No, but that was the first. They laid it in. But the first 2 weeks, they looked good. They looked good. He looked good. The receivers looked good. They were running the ball. They got Chase playing. He's healthy, finally playing defense. Their front seven looks good. That's why I picked them. It wasn't like I just pulled this out of my ass.
No, but they hadn't played anybody.
Who the fuck had the Buffalo Bills played? The Jets and the Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody.
You're right, but the Bills are we know the Bills are good.
We know the Bills choke.
Not in week 3.
They choked in week 1.
No, they didn't. That's the Jets, man.
He threw 3 picks.
It's one of those divisional games.
A choke is a choke.
The Bills are a proven team. They're an upper echelon team in the league.
Let me ask you a question.
They're a playoff team.
If he just doesn't throw the picks, do the Bills win that game or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are a legitimate playoff team. Washington is trying to prove that it's a playoff team.
Washington was coming home to play a team that had played the Raiders and the Jets and lost to the Jets.
Washington is not good.
Washington is good. They were 2-0.
They beat Denver. They were down 3 scores to Denver.
So what? They still beat them. That was in Mile High.
They were down 3 scores to Denver.
And they won the game.
They shouldn't have been down 3 scores.
Look, Denver's not going to do. Listen, if you think Denver's going to give up 70 points every week, you're crazy. You keep forgetting who they're going against. Give me a fucking. Denver's not going to do that again. I mean, but the bottom line
lost to the Commanders, and then
go on with the rest of the picks. We've already beat this one to death. Go on to the next one.
We both picked Jacksonville.
I'll tell you, that was one of the surprises of the week. Houston. Tell you that coach, they're 2-1.
D'Amico.
Yeah, D'Amico's doing a good job.
And that was with C.J. Stroud is starting to play well.
He played very well in that game.
Yeah,
he did.
We both picked Baltimore and lost that one.
That was the other surprise. Baltimore was missing 7 starters though. 7.
Good God, really?
Yeah, 4 on offense, 3 on defense. They were missing a lot of people.
Okay. But they were in position to win that game.
They were home.
Yeah. And they were ahead.
And the Colts had a backup quarterback.
Right. They were ahead. Yeah. It shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened.
Both picked Kansas City, Taylor Swift and all. We both picked Pittsburgh. We both picked Philly.
Yep.
And then you picked Cincinnati. I picked the Rams. So we were the same.
Same. All right. So what's the total? So we have the same record.
I don't know. Fuck. You know I can't
You're
do
killing
this
me.
math.
Hold on. All right. So
Whenever I try to do it, we get lost.
there are 15 games. How many did you just count yours? 15 games total. How many did you get right?
Now I got to remember which ones are right.
Oh my God. We both had Miami, right?
Yeah.
You had Buffalo, so you're 2-2. Or I was 2-0. I was 1-1. We both had Detroit. Or did you have Atlanta?
No, we both had Detroit.
Okay, so we were 3 and I'm 2-1. You're 3-0. I had Green Bay. Did you have Green Bay also?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 3-1. You're 4-0. We both had Jacksonville, who lost. So I'm 3-2. You're 4-1. We both had No.
Yeah, we both had
Minnesota. So I'm 3-3. You're 4-2. We both had Seattle beating Carolina, right? Yeah, we did. We both had Seattle beating Carolina, didn't we?
I don't even have that game on here.
It was in Seattle. I don't think either one of us.
I don't think we picked
that
game.
Well, the backup quarterback was playing for Carolina, and they were in Seattle. Who would we have picked? You tell me we picked an 0-2 team going to Seattle, who was a playoff team?
We would have picked Seattle.
We'd have picked Seattle.
But I know, but we didn't pick the game. But you're right.
I'm going to say we both, because we would have both picked Seattle. Yeah. We both lost Dallas, Arizona. So that's 4 losses for me.
Why isn't
and
that
3
game
for
on
you.
here either?
I don't know. You didn't get them all right. But we did pick Dallas. We both had KC. So you're 5 and I was 4-4. So I'm 5-4. You're 6-3. I had Pitt. You had Pitt also, right?
Yep.
All right. So I'm 6-4. You're 7-3. We both had Philly. So I'm 8-4. You're 9-3. I had Cincy. You had the Rams. So I wound up. And we both had the Patriots. Right? We both had the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Or did you pick? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 10. And then what's the other one? I'm missing one. Oh, we both had Cleveland beating Tennessee. So I was 11-4. We were both 11-4.
We're the same.
15 games. We were 11-4. So for the season, so 11-4. So he was 19-11. He's now 30-15. That's very good. At 65%, or almost whatever. It's almost 2/3. 66% rather. And then I was 16-14, 11. So I'm 27-18. So not bad. Solid.
It's good.
So you're 30-15, and I'm 27-18. So still 3-game lead going into this week. So there it is. That's the updated records for the season for us too. So he's been consistent. I'm getting better. I'm on an incline. Hopefully I'll be better this week. But anyway, the point of this conversation was, and what we wanted to get to was how these coaches are destroying these quarterbacks.
We were getting some.
We were. Well, these coaches are destroying these quarterbacks, and Joe Namath went off, and I'm sure you've all heard what he said right now. But he even, in the middle of his rant, said, look, the kid's got a strong arm and the kid has quick feet. He can move. Beyond that, okay, Joe, start with that. So if he's got those two things going for him, why aren't the Jets designing an offense around that? And I don't want to hear about how he doesn't have an offensive line, because that's even more reason to roll him out, to buy more time. If he doesn't have an offensive line, you roll him out. You don't keep him in the pocket where he's a sitting duck. Okay.
The Giants like to do that to Danny Jones.
If you know your line isn't strong, you've got to roll him out to the right and give him a run pass option and flood that front side and give him a high percent. And by the way, the Giants can do that. Why? And they got the weapons to do it.
So here's my thing. I don't know enough about X's and O's of football to really say what they should do, but I know this: when you have something that's worth $2 to $5 billion. And the most important player on the team
usually is the quarterback.
It's typically the quarterback.
Usually, yeah.
And
in this era, certainly.
So either you've got the most important player on your team can't do the job, or the coaches can't help the most important player on your team to do the job the way they're able to do it. Either way.
Well, actually, there's 3 scenarios.
Or
management hasn't put the players around him to help him.
Right.
Whether it's an offensive line or a number 1 receiver, Belichick.
But either way, how is that allowed to happen for so long? Like, this has been happening to the Jets. And I know a lot of it has to do with the injury to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, this is the thing.
This is happening all around the league.
I think in the case of the Jets, where management went all in on Rodgers, they can't fault the coach for that, because they did that, not him. So you can't hold him accountable for that.
Yeah.
So in the Jets' case, he's getting a pass. But here's the thing, and again, Orlovsky brings it up, and some of the other analysts have brought it up. if you know this kid has an arm and you know he's mobile, you've got to design an offense around that. And they're not doing even that because they're so afraid for this kid to drop back. Okay, roll him out. Give him 2 reads. If they're not open, tuck it and run
Tell
and
him to
slide.
run, yeah.
Run and slide.
He's athletic.
He's very athletic.
Yeah.
In fact, that's kind of where he made his bones. You look at his college tape.
His bones,
Hey, no,
folks.
but you look at his college tape. It looks like Elway. It looks like fucking these. It looks like Steve Young. It looks like Patrick Mahomes rolling out and making these outrageous throws on the run, going side to
See
side.
Johnny Manziel in it?
Yeah. But I'm saying that's what that kid. That's how he got drafted. On his talent. So play to his talent.
Right. Use the talent.
And it's not like he doesn't have weapons. He's got weapons.
Yeah.
Gardner's is one of the best elite receivers in the league. He's got 2 very good running backs. The tight end's solid.
Well, that's what
I mean, Lazard is good.
I've heard people say, and it's like if you can run, then you run as you're learning. You use it to help you as you gain more knowledge of reading defenses and stuff.
But put a package in that plays to its strengths, which in 2 games now they haven't done that. And guess who's coming to town Sunday night? Kansas fucking City.
Do they have any chance?
No.
Is it going to be like the Dolphins against...
If he doesn't turn the ball over, that defense will keep him in the game for a while. But again, 83 plays against the Cowboys, they eventually broke, and then he had 3 turnovers on top of it. Yeah. Against New England, now New England did something. New England ran the ball down their throat, and the Jets knew it was coming, and they couldn't stop it, which tells you something about the Patriots.
But they still only gave up 15 points.
Because they bend, but they didn't break. And the Patriots don't have a number 1 receiver. Because if the Pats did, they'd have put 30 on them. They don't have a number 1 receiver. And the guys they do have, they're not using them.
Patriots offense is suspect.
It's suspect right now because, again, you have to define or determine who that guy is.
Right.
You can't have 3 good guys and split it up. Tom Brady is not here. That's Tom Brady's offense. He can do that shit. You can't. No other quarterback. I don't know how many times I'm going to fucking say this. He is one of one. Okay, I can't fucking
say
stand it.
Is this a Bill O'Brien rant?
No, I think he's trying to, but then Bill Belichick ransacks him and takes like.
You really think Belichick's doing that?
In case of the Dolphins, when he benched Demario Douglas, I will bet you right here and now that he was probably going to play 40 snaps against the Dolphins. I will bet you right here and now he was probably going to play until that fumble. He was going to play 40 snaps.
So here, I will say I've lost respect for Bill O'Brien if
he's not the head coach.
If he's letting Belichick do shit like
he's his boss.
So
what's he going to do?
Fight back and get fired. Who cares? I mean, you
can't get fired.
I know, you're right.
You can't get fired. I get what you're saying.
Just tell your boss to fuck off like I would do that.
But again, I mean, the thing is, you can't. The kid's a rookie. He made a mistake. Okay, and all coaches, the good coaches, let him play through that. Okay, Belichick is too set in his ways, and he's already cost them a game because of this bullshit. Okay, and he's got to stop.
A Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's cost them a Super Bowl because of that. Okay, so the thing is, he's got to knock that shit off because honestly, this team is very close. They're very close. They've got an elite defense. The quarterback is legit. They get in their line back so they can run the ball. And by the way, the reason the Cowboys lost that game is because Arizona did what I've been saying since day one. Every fucking play, they ran right at Micah. Micah had 2 300-pounders in his face the entire game, and they broke him.
But remember, leading into that, you were like, is Arizona going to double team Micah Parsons and run at him? No.
They did.
And then boom.
And they did. And kudos to them. And by the way, the head coach was a Philadelphia Eagle. He knows how to beat the Cowboys. He was on the Eagles. That's how Philly beats them. Philly runs right at Micah Parsons, and they beat the shit out of him. Okay? And I got news for you. That's how the Commanders beat him. And when they beat him in Philly, it was the same thing. They ran right at the kid. Not Philly, but when what was the other team that beat him? San Fran. They ran right at him. Okay? And if they see Detroit, that's what Detroit will do because they got a line that can do that. The Patriots have a line that can do that when they're healthy. Now, they're getting healthy, and hopefully this Sunday when they play Dallas, they're going to have most of their offensive line.
Hold on, the Pats play Dallas this weekend?
425.
Ooh.
425.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll tell me something about the Pats.
They've been in every game. Look at the 2 teams they faced.
I know, but I'm going to need them to not be in this game.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I'm going to need them to win this game.
Do you think Dallas is better than either Miami or Philly right now?
No.
No, they're not. No. They are not. And by the way,
I think they can beat Philly.
Here's the problem. I don't know if you heard the post game for Dallas. Did you hear what Micah Parsons said?
No, what did he say?
And Rex Ryan, of all people, who worships this guy, jumped down his throat. After the game, he said, "Look, we just played down to our competition."
Oh.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And Rex Ryan killed him, and Rex Ryan should have killed him. And kudos for Rex for not being biased and doing his job because he should have killed
What
him.
did Rex
and
say?
he's like, "I love you, man, but you just got pistol whipped. Shut up, give the opponent credit, and move on. Don't you? You don't say that,
Yeah.
because that tells that they're cocky. They're cocky. And I got news for you. This is why the Patriots have a very good shot on Sunday because you know who's right after the Patriots? They play San Fran right after the Patriots. Okay.
Damn, that could be 3 losses in a row.
The Patriots have an elite defense and they have a running game.
Is
That's
it in
San Fran.
Dallas?
It's in Dallas.
I actually like that better
I do.
because
They think
they're
they're
kind of like
home.
Washington.
Yeah.
It's not a home field advantage in Dallas. Not as much as some stadiums because it's like a tourist attraction.
Jerry's World is more like an amusement
It's like
park.
Vegas.
Yeah, it's like
It's like
Vegas.
Vegas,
Yeah, it's like
you know?
it's like an amusement
Teams
park.
are like, oh, you want to go see
Yeah.
the Pats in Dallas this
Yeah.
year, or
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
go see the Giants in Dallas? Like,
So-
it is.
So I mean, I really, if the Pats don't turn the ball over, I really like their chances. I really do because I think Dallas is already looking at San Francisco. We're going to beat the Pats. We got to make sure we are. All right. But the thing is, they should not be doing that. But after what Micah Parsons said, I wonder.
Do you think he thinks New England sucks?
I do. I really
like-
do. Yep, I do.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
And
Georgie.
I got news for you. Rex Ryan killed him. The big swagoo, he killed him. Jeff Saturday killed. They were all in agreement on one thing. Micah Parsons, shut the
Hold on,
fuck up.
Who is Jeff Saturday?
Hall of Fame lineman for the
I'm
Colts.
kidding. He was a center.
Pancake.
Remember-
the pancake. The pancakes.
Remember
he does the pancakes every
last
Tuesday.
year Thibodeau said, who is that? When Thibodeau broke Nick Foles' collarbone and he
Yeah.
was doing the
Yeah.
snow angel next to him.
Yeah.
And Saturday got mad and he was like, who is he?
Yeah.
And I was like, you should know who that is.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
It was fun.
It was funny.
But anyway, the point is, Micah Parsons, that team has a. And then Dak Prescott. Did you hear what he said?
No, what he said?
Well, you media guys got what you wanted. You blew us up to be like this so you can have your cake. He said that. In fact, I have the quote here.
What?
This is what he said. Hold on, I have the quote. I want you to see
He's
this.
blaming the media?
He's blaming the media. Where is it? I'm sure the media got what it wanted. Dak Prescott after losing to the Cardinals. I'm sure the media.
on, keep
got
going. What
it
else?
wanted. That's the end of the quote. But what he said was, "You guys built us up to be this thing." I'm like, "You won 70-10 in the first 2 games.
Built
What
us
did you think
up.
they were going to?" Yeah, he blames the media. I'm like, "Wait a minute. The media showed up against Arizona. You're the ones who didn't. You're the ones who took them lightly. And Arizona, to your point, has been in every game. They haven't been a pushover. Okay, and
Arizona could be 3-0.
they could be,
Very
and so
easily.
could the Patriots very easily. Okay, so the thing
And
is,
so could the Giants. Yep.
No.
No, they lost 40-0.
let's not. Let's stay within here. Let's stay within. But the bottom line is, Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott, these are the two leaders of this team. Both said something that to me is shocking. And I got to say, people were saying it's a bad day. I'm like, oh no, it's not a bad day. They really think like this. They really think like this.
Shocked,
and by the way,
and appalled. Shocked and appalled.
They're arrogant. They're very arrogant. And
Well, you're an arrogant son of a bitch too.
I got state championships, motherfucker. You get 4 state championships, you can be an arrogant motherfucker. Okay?
Dude, these guys are in the NFL.
Hey, arrogance is arrogance. You get it from somewhere. It's usually from winning. Okay? You got to win
If
something.
you're a player in the NFL, odds are you could be arrogant.
If you played college ball and you were a state champion, you're going to be a little arrogant. It's hard to win a state championship. Not many people have
So
them.
why are you so shocked of their arrogance? That's
Because
my
they haven't done anything but choke at that level. They're talking like they've won 2 Super Bowls. The Chiefs don't sound like this.
Well, Mike is talking.
Shit,
like
Philly doesn't.
Mike is talking like he's the best defensive player in the league, not thinking about what he says has to be backed by his whole team.
You never, ever, when you lose, say what he said. Oh, just played down to our competition.
Yeah, that's weak.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's weak.
Do you know what they did to him? Do you know? Did you look at? I mean, let's talk about this. How you played down to your competition, Micah. Because here's the thing, dude. They ran doggies over your ass, okay? And you were too busy on the ground being a pancake to do anything about it, okay?
So I don't understand how you say that, but the competition played better than you.
And the competition's been in
So,
every game.
so what does that mean? You played down to the competition, but the competition outplayed you.
Severely. Severely.
So basically, are you saying you reversed roles? They became the good team and you became the shit team?
Micah, they ran for 222 yards on your ass.
Yikes.
222.
What did Dak do?
If it wasn't for the Miami Dolphins, that would have been the total this
So
week.
Joel was calling me because he said he called a pick or something. I wasn't looking at the text.
Well, he threw into triple coverage, and it was a bad.
But Joel said on the text right before it, he said, "This is where
Dak gives it away.
This is where Dak gives a gift."
Yeah.
And he calls me and he's like, "Dude, you got to give me credit for that." And I was like, "What? I wasn't looking at the text, dude."
No. Always deny.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I
didn't say it. You texted? I had my phone turned off. I'm sorry, Joe. I was doing family things.
dude.
I was trying to be an adult. What are you bragging about
Actually,
now?
I wasn't. I was playing my son's
I know what
Oculus.
you were doing. I've heard all about you.
I was playing my son's Oculus.
Man's an addict.
Joel calls me and he's like, "Did you see the call I made?"
The man's
And
an
I was
addict.
Like, "What call?" And he was like, "I called that pick." I was like, "Joel, I'm not watching."
And
the
again,
games. What happened?
He calls, and this is why I can't stand Joel, and I love you, Joel, but this is why you drive me nuts. You predicted that Dak Prescott, who led the NFL in picks last season, was going to throw a pick. Wow, Joel, way to go out on a limb there, buddy. Woo! And again, he did backtrack. Goes, I made the easiest call under the easiest of conditions. Yeah, you did, Joel. So don't call him and ask for credit when you admitted that was a no-brainer.
No, but you know what ended up happening?
What?
I wasn't giving him credit, and then he immediately brings up Derek White.
Come on.
I swear to God. And he's like,
"Come on, Joel, that's bad form."
He's like, "Oh, please." He's like, "You got to admit." And I was like, "Dude, you have had some pretty good calls." But
Dak Prescott throwing a pick in the red zone, that's all he did
but
last
then he was
year.
like, I called the Red Sox, or I called the Celtics, and I was like, "You called the Celtics to lose 4-3 in that series?"
No, you called them
And he was like,
to go back and
nobody
win.
had them winning 3 games.
Neither did you. You had them winning 4. Neither did you, Joe. You had them winning 4. You said they're not going to almost come back. You said they're going to come back. Book it. Mark it. I can scroll back on the text, Joel, and you're a guarantee of 4 straight.
He still wants credit for calling Derek White, even though Derek White was not involved in the play.
No, he wasn't.
And tipped a ball in, a missed shot, by none other than, may I? Thank you. By none other than Marcus Smart himself.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, like, you got lucky and made that call. I agree. It was cool that you said that.
Yeah.
But that's not like a skill thing. You're not psychic.
No.
I mean, I didn't predict it. So, you're better than...
The play was designed for Tatum. It's just that simple. The play was designed for Tatum.
They could only get the ball to Marcus Smart.
Because they double teamed.
By
the way, you know who they left open? Marcus Smart.
His shot goes to the bottom of the net, pops out.
Because it's Marcus Smart.
Derek White comes out of fucking
nowhere. Who did? Joel, you didn't call that. Okay. No, but the thing is, look, predicting Dak Prescott's going to throw a pick in the red zone when that's all he did last year was not going out on a limb. Okay, and when you look at the replay of that, man, that was bad.
I didn't see it.
Bad. If you can Google it,
it wasn't as bad as Sam Howell's.
Dude, the linebacker drops right back in front of him. He's looking right at him.
Did he do the Zach Wilson? Was it Zach? Who threw the bad pick?
The Washington guy.
No.
One of
I'm
those.
talking about in week 1 or 2 where he was just looking right at a linebacker, and they were like, he looked right at Zach Wilson.
Yeah. That was the one pick he threw in week 1. Then he cleaned it up and he played better, and they won. But I mean, the thing is, like, these quarterbacks, and again, these coordinators, and then you can tell the ones that are good because the quarterback is comfortable.
Well,
when you look at Chicago, and I know you haven't watched a lot of them, but Fields does not look comfortable at all. He is guessing out there. He's not.
The bad coordinators are not coordinating.
Well, they're not.
And the good coordinators are coordinating.
It looks
you got to
like,
coordinate.
Well, you got to know your personnel.
Coordinate.
And know what they do well.
Don't hate.
Coordinate. I like that.
Don't hate.
That's his, America. I'm gonna give it. That's his.
So Sean Payton.
Tom Izzo says,
Sean
don't
Payton,
hate. Coordinate.
Coordinate. Okay. Coordinate that goddamn team to do better.
I mean, but when you see Wilson and you see Zach Wilson, and look, Fields, they don't look comfortable. They look like they're out there trying not to make a mistake. You can't play scared and play quarterback. You cannot. It doesn't work. It'll never work.
Actually,
and they're
you can't
scared.
Play scared in any position in the damn league.
But especially quarterback.
Yeah.
That's the tough. You cannot. And the thing is, it looks like they're on an island. Like their coaches aren't even trying to help them. It's like that's
it's kind
terrible.
of what you were talking about. Was it Notre Dame where you said a coach said, "Look, I'm not going to make this same mistake again. If I have a chance to go for it."
By the way, that was a great game.
What was it?
Ohio State Notre Dame. When the head coach, who I do think is a good coach, but they played Ohio State last year, and he said, "We coached not to lose. I'm not going to do that again." And then on the biggest fucking play of the game, When he's getting pressure with 4 and 5
Coach is
guys,
scared.
he drops 8 and rushes 3, and the kid steps up in the pocket and throws a laser.
Coaching scared.
Coaching scared. It's no different. And,
Right.
and I've said this many times, and he understands it now. More games are lost than won, especially in the NFL. And this is part
you
of
said
that.
over a year ago,
Yeah,
and every week I
It
see
comes to fruition every week.
And it's funny because there's a lot of things it applies to.
Of course it does.
So pickleball. When I play pickleball, whatever team makes the most unforced errors loses every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, you lost that game.
Yeah.
We didn't beat you. Half the time you're hitting it into the net. And same thing, when we lose, we're missing serves.
It's self-inflicted wounds.
Right.
And again, it's true.
Interesting to think of that.
Yeah, we talk about it in basketball. Everybody, and that game's so fast. It's about who can minimize the mistakes. The team that makes the few mistakes is going to win, and that's true in basketball all the time. So I mean, the thing is, like, this is the thing about the coaching staff. You got to set your guy to succeed, and you know what you got to do? You got to show confidence in him. Because if the quarterback thinks that the team doesn't believe in him, how do you think he's going to play?
Well, dude, that's the worst part about the Jets situation.
Yeah, they don't want him there.
No one does.
No, they don't.
Now, I'll give credit to the team because
they're trying to say the right things. They're saying the right things.
They've been trying.
Yeah,
and they've been arguing with
the
him
receiver.
On the sidelines.
The receiver,
Garrett Wilson,
has backed him in front of every microphone that gets in his face. He backs him. He's doing the right thing.
Even though they're fighting sometimes on the sidelines, when he gets in front of the reporters, but
he should be fighting with the coaching staff.
I know,
not Zach Wilson.
But well,
Zach Wilson did not have
one of the running backs went after
one of the coaches, and he should have. Yeah. But Zach Wilson didn't have a turnover, and that's why that game was close. And if he didn't turn the ball over against Dallas, by the way, this is the other thing. When they played the Cowboys, how do you run the ball 16 times? And it was 10-7, and then it was 18-10. They ran the ball 16 times in the entire game against that defense.
And they have some really good running backs.
They've got 2 very good running backs. You line up 2 tight ends. You go right at Micah Parsons. You go Dogies over his ass, like Arizona just proved you can do, and you beat them into the ground. You keep Dogies over their ass.
That's the second time you've dropped Dogies.
You ever see the movie The Program? Remember that college movie, The Program? The
I remember
Timberwolves?
that movie. That was the
with
one
Omar
where
Epps.
the kid laid down in the street, right? Played chicken with the cars or whatever.
Did he lay down? No, on the tracks, train tracks.
No, it was.
He was the quarterback who was a booze bag.
I thought it was in the streets.
His name was Kane. Kane is Abel.
Because I remember it was a big controversy because kids started doing it and they had to pull the scene from the movie.
I don't remember that. I remember Latimer, who was doing roids up the thing.
I feel
and
like
then Alvin Mack, the
saw it,
All-American
but I never
linebacker. Anyway, the first game that they're doing, the guy goes, "We got Dogies running. The trail runs right. Dogies in the end zone. The trail runs right over your ass." And then they blow this tackle right up.
Dogies over his ass.
He goes, "My Dogies are set in the end zone. I got to go do some celebrating." He goes, "Fuck you!" And he runs in the end zone and celebrate. So they were running Dogies over Micah's ass all day on Sunday, and that's what happens. And if the Patriots, I gotta say, the Patriots are going to do this anyway.
I really hope the Patriots win this weekend.
Don't turn the ball over, because that defense feasts on turnovers.
Well, with Diggs out, that's one playmaker out, which helps.
Yeah. But the front seven's still the front seven.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Dallas,
as long as Micah Parsons is playing, that defense is tough. But
of course it is.
Who's the other defensive end? Is it Lawrence?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's good. Wait a minute. It's Lawrence, I think.
It's not Dexter Lawrence. He's on the
I think
Giants.
you're right. I think it's hold on.
The hell's his
He's
name?
got a couple of sacks already.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Is it DeMarcus Lawrence?
By the way, DeMarcus Lawrence.
He's good.
Yep.
He's really good.
Yeah, and the other guy, the defensive tackle, I can't say his name is Odi Hiswa. He's got 3 sacks. So they've got a total of 12 sacks already.
Well, didn't they get 6 against the Giants?
Well, the Giants, they cleaned up. I mean, but the thing is, they had 7 sacks against the Giants. In the last 2 games, they've only had 5. They had 7 against the Giants. But the thing is, like, if you run at them, and I keep saying this, and when the Giants, this is why I got mad at the Giants at Thursday night, because you don't go lateral on a fast defense.
No.
You go north-south.
Attack that shit.
If Bosa's their stud, you double team Bosa and run it right over his ass.
The Giants,
whole fucking game.
Said, you know what? Let's not block Bosa.
No, let's not block Bosa. Well, you know,
let's not run it.
Let's go east-west.
Let's go naked boot into
naked boot into
a
naked boot into a naked Bosa. Just he's out there all by himself.
Come bang me, Bosa.
Come bang me, yep. I mean, seriously, but how do you? This is the thing, though. When you face fast defenses, north-south is the only way to win. Unless you got receivers on the outside that can match that speed, north-south running game and play action.
You can't go north by northwest.
No, you
You
can't.
have to go north by south.
Or south by southeast.
No.
Either way, doesn't work. The bubble
West
screen.
by
Why
west.
anyone would run a bubble screen against Dallas, New England, or San Fran, or the Jets for that matter, those defenses? I don't. You're an idiot. You think I don't care. You better have the cheetah out there.
Can you go east by northwest?
No.
No. West by southeast?
12 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's it. There's no 11 o'clock. There's no 12:30. There's no. It's 12 o'clock,
When you
6
did
o'clock.
that, I felt like I was in virtual reality.
Did you? Well, you've been in virtual reality for about 24 hours. That fucking game you've been
I
playing.
was up till 3:30 a.m. playing Resident Evil on the Oculus.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break real quick. Segment 1. Segment 2. We're gonna go over our fantasy,
That segment was all over the place.
but it was effective.
Was it?
I think it was.
Not efficient.
Doesn't have to be efficient.
It's true. It's
We're
conversation.
not about efficiency. We're about talking about the relevance. We talked about the quarterbacks and how they're not being set to succeed. We talked about a lot of shit.
We did.
That was an impressive amount of shit.
Okay.
But anyway, segment 2, we're gonna go over fantasy stuff. We're gonna go over our teams. First look at week 3, and then we'll dabble into some stats.
We're gonna do our
and
picks?
we're gonna do our the next night. We'll do it Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, we are gonna do a top 5. We're both going to give you our top 5 at power rankings for week 3. We're going to do this every couple of weeks, every 3 or 4 weeks, and then we're going to pick up. It's 17 games now, so it kind of fucks everything up. But
Why?
you do it every 3 or 4 weeks. We'll do a power ranking.
I see what you're
Where
saying.
do you think they are now? You know what I mean? So we'll do our first one. He's going to give me his top 5. I'm going to give you mine. Then we're going to fight over it. But anyway,
It's so early to do that.
It's 3 weeks. We're going into week 4. This is a good time. Good early check, first check in.
Oh, yeah.
You want to overreact? You want to do it called overreaction? Whatever. But we'll give you our top 5 right now. Anyway, that'll be segment 2. You guys grab a cold one. Hey, it is Tokum Tuesday. That's for you new people on Facebook. Tokum Tuesday. We're going to find Yoda, Betty, and Joe Boo. They're around here somewhere, I'm sure. And we will see you guys on the other side.